Memphis.
Same temperature.
You guys are really aggressive running the bases out of Southern Cal. You feel like that's a precursor to what you're going to be like this season?
So I kind of mentioned it before the season started. We're just going to take what you give us. And we felt like that the catcher had a good arm, he had a good release, but the pitchers, a few of them were slow to the plate. And so we didn't really, to me, maybe one or two times, I think we stole, 8 or 9 bases. Really was a gamble. I felt like if our guy got a good jump with the times that their pitchers were to the plate, that we could steal them. And the catcher would have to make a perfect throw. And in a couple cases, he really did make good throws. We just beat him. And it has to be the right guy. I mean, you look at the numbers, Martin can steal, Ezel can steal, Franklin can steal, a couple other guys in there a little bit, and that's what we did. The wind's blowing in from left, from left to right. And we weren't going to probably hit the ball out of the park to left field unless you hit one like Martin hit, because it would have gone out anywhere. It didn't matter how hard the wind was blowing. But for the most part, you had to hit it just right on the first 2 days anyway, and just felt like we needed to get some guys in scoring position. It bothered them. But to answer your question, I mean, we're not going to run crazy, but there are 4 or 5 guys in the lineup that they can steal. If they get a good jump, they have an opportunity to get there.
Psychologically, is there a lift just to winning a road series? Which I didn't realize y'all didn't last year.
I didn't either. I had no idea, to be honest with you. I could have told you we didn't win one last year, and I could tell you who they were against, because they were all against top 10 teams. And we pretty much won every Friday game and lost the next 2. It was really disappointing. But for us to go out there on the road and play a good team, and they have good players. I mean, you look at their guys that are big and strong, their arms are good, throwing the ball 95 miles an hour at us. It's just, I feel good that we won the series, and we were real close to sweeping it. We had a couple fresh pitchers in the bullpen, but they're freshmen and they haven't pitched yet. We didn't feel great about bringing them in those situations, but we'll do a little bit more experimenting over the next few weeks, and maybe we can find another arm or two to help us out.
You did put Wicklander in a tough situation, and then he came back after that and pitched really well.
He did. He pitched really well. What happened there, I still don't know what happened. I mean, you saw what he did here. He threw 10 pitches and struck out the side his first outing, and I know it's at home and it's, a non-Power 5 team, but he still did it. And to go there and throw the ball the way he did, I mean, he just was wild. He couldn't command it, and kind of saw it when he was getting loose. Once we brought him in the game, he threw a couple to the backstop, and his curveball slipped out of his hand a couple times. Kept looking at his hand like the ball was slick, and I think he was a little bit of everything. A lot of nerves, a lot of family in the stands and friends, and there's 4 or 5 guys on USC's team that he played either high school ball or summer ball with. So hopefully he learned from that, and we feel like he did. And I thought he threw really good second time out, and obviously he was right there to get a win. It didn't happen, but we're going to give him the ball tomorrow to start. We're going to have to piece that thing together tomorrow, and there'll be a lot of young guys pitching tomorrow.
How would you anticipate Wicklander? Do you anticipate from him?
Tomorrow, I think he'll throw well. I think first off, he's a tough kid and he wants the ball, and he's used to having a lot of success. I mean, he's one of our top recruits as far as pitchers, and he's shown us what he can do. And we don't expect him to pitch very long. We just want to give him a start. Maybe he goes 2 or 3 innings.
You talked about stealing bases, but Casey Opitz on the flip side of that, throwing people out, playing really well behind the plate right now.
I'll tell you what, our catchers, both of them have done a great job so far in 6 games. But Casey, the first 2 games, that's as good as I've ever seen a catcher catch at our level. I mean, because of the balls in the dirt, the blocks, jumping on it, throwing people out. I mean, we were very impressed. And really, the defense is what helped us win those first 2 games. And we had Casey threw had a ball blocked. He blocked the ball, jumped on it, threw a guy trying to steal. They tried to steal third. Left fielder makes a diving catch going away from his glove, a backhand dive, a couple 3 in the infield. It was fun to watch. But Casey was really good, and I thought Zach caught really good in game 3 as well.
What do you feel like Kirstead needs to do to get going offensively?
Yeah, he's the guy. I mean, he's hitting probably around 200, and he'd tell you he's left a lot of runners out there. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Runner at third, 1 out. Didn't get them in, and we just want some contact there. Get the ball to the outfield. One of them struck out, the other one tapped one back to the mound, but he got behind 0-2 before he knew what happened. And kind of swinging at pitches out of the zone that are up, and that I've told him that's your battle. You've got to learn how to stay off that pitch, because if you don't, that's all they're going to do is throw it up there. And he got a little better and went back at it a little bit, but if we could get him going, it's really going to help, and we know he's going to get it going.
I think that Memphis pitcher you've seen in the last couple
Yep.
of years, what do you remember about him?
Crafty lefty. He's going to throw about 87, 88 miles an hour. Wears glasses. Likes to spin it. Lefties, he hasn't thrown in 2 weeks because he threw opening weekend out of the pen, and then he didn't throw in the midweek game last Tuesday, and he didn't throw Sunday in their doubleheader. So he's going to have a fresh arm, and they'll probably let him go as long as he can. It's up to us to do a good job against him.
For a young team, you mentioned not winning a road series last year, obviously tough competition, but for a young team to win a road series right out of the gate at Southern Cal, how big was that?
Well, I think time will tell. That we'll be able to tell you in a few weeks when we start. When we go to Alabama and playing 2 games in Austin over spring break, and those road series that we have. They've done it. They're probably not going to worry about it. Maybe people won't talk about it. You guys haven't won a series in forever. That's over with, which is good. And because I hadn't even thought about it, to be honest with you, but I'm sure maybe they're online and on their Twitter accounts a little more than I am. So whatever. But I think it's great. I think it's great that we knocked it out early and we don't have to really talk about it.
What's the pitching plan behind with Randy?
Well, I think we've got 3 other freshmen, 2 to 3 other freshmen we'd like to get in a game that are, they haven't pitched yet. We've got Burton. We need to get him on the mound sometime, and we got to get ready for next Tuesday and Wednesday against Charlotte after playing 3 this weekend. So we've got to get these guys out there. If we get into trouble, we could go with one of our older guys, but we're just going to take it an inning at a time. I just hope that we play solid defense and we come out and swing the bats a little bit.
These midweek games are so important for these young guys to get some reps on the mound as you guys get ready for SEC play when you need them.
Yeah, we're going to need them. So it's, we played 6, and there's 3 of them that I know that haven't pitched yet. We need to get out there, and a couple of them, like Burton, who's got a really good arm, but he hasn't had a lot of success yet. He needs to get an inning or a hitter or 2, and we need to probably get Vermillion back up on the mound. He only threw 1 inning this past weekend, and we could go with Cox if we needed to a little bit. I don't know. There's a couple others in there that are older that we could use, but I don't want to use them all because we need them for Friday and Saturday.
I'm just wondering, in the back of your mind, the way Nolan has developed, have you ever worried down the road that he could get an injury and then all of a sudden you can't count on him?
Pretty much every day. Yeah, that's always in there. He could get hurt out here, get hurt in the parking lot, but he's going to be playing football, and I guess the injury that I worry about is probably not so much the throwing, it's probably the knees and the ankles, and just something that you can do by stopping and starting a lot like quarterbacks do, football players do. But he got a chance to be pretty good, and he could be special by the time he's a sophomore, junior, and he pitched in a really tough environment the other night, and he didn't pitch great, but he showed that he has some toughness, and he battled through it, and he gave us a chance. I'm looking forward to seeing him throw again this Saturday and see how he does, and obviously right now he's one of our guys. We would like to keep him on the weekends as a starter because I'd really like to keep some of those older guys in the bullpen because, as we found out again, if you don't finish the thing, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. And we've got some guys that I feel could really finish a game, but some of them we're having to use early. And if we could keep some of these younger guys starting, I think would really make us a better team.
Will he be here Friday doing like pre-start prep?
He'll be here. He'll be here. He's going to go to. I think they've got a meeting this afternoon at 4:30 or something that he's going to go to, but we'll be done by then. As far as Friday, I know. He'll be here because he's got to get ready to pitch, and he needs to see them and see what he's pitching against. You can look at paper and scouting reports all you want. I'm not big into them. I am as far as maybe getting me started, but I want to see it. I want to watch them take batting practice and field, and I can answer my own questions. But, the pitchers, they need to see it, and we're working it out. They've been good with us, and, they know that he's a big part of our team, and we know that they got to have him too. So we'll work it out.
Chad said he thought he'd be there next Tuesday.
Yeah, he'll probably be there Tuesday. He'll Sunday or Monday, if we end up playing early because of the weather, Sunday or Monday will be our day off, depending on when we play. He'll get his bullpen in. He can come and work out with us a little bit if we're doing some pitcher drills, defensive drills, and then if he needs to move on up there, because they practice a little later than we do.
What was your assessment of that 8th inning pop-up, Kerstad, Kinley? Did you talk to them?
Yeah, I talked to one of them. I didn't want to, basically, in baseball lingo, I didn't want to blow both of them up because we were still in the game. But I talked to Kinley about it, and I talked to him about a couple other pop-ups that he didn't handle real well that he caught. He called it too early. He drifted back on it. But bottom line, the right fielder needs to call him off and take the ball. And that will be addressed today in practice. And, you know, it's very frustrating. What was even as frustrating is their scorekeeper scored it a hit and an earned run, which that's an error if I've ever seen one, because that was an easy play.
DH, do you keep going Goodhart and McFarland, or you look at someone else there?
You might see Trey Harris DH tomorrow, because Trey Harris swung the bat extremely well in the fall, but he's been hurt. Very first practice, he runs into that wall down there and hurt his back. And then the first day back, about a week later, he's back practicing. He tweaks the back of his knee. And so he really hasn't done anything. He took batting practice, he's been with us, but he's not full speed running yet. He may be close today or tomorrow, but he's been hitting the ball extremely well in practice, so we're excited to get his bat in the lineup.
We couldn't see very well on TV because they had that static camera, but I think in Game 2 there was Franklin was on third and Casey Martin hit that thing. It was actually better than a bunt probably, but he didn't score and we didn't see what happened.
Yeah, basically the play was you have one out, you have Martin up, you have one of your fastest runners on third. I don't even know if there was a runner on first, but he squibbed it up the line, and you have Kerstad waiting to hit. They had their first baseman way up in front of the bag, third baseman's up, so we told the runner, unless you see a high chopper, see the ball pass him out. So if Casey smokes one to the third baseman or hits one hard to the first baseman, he's not going to go. Well, if it would have been a bunt, it would have been easy to score. But it was a full swing. He hit it off the cap. It was spinning. He came down the line. He wasn't going to go, and as we told him not to. And the ball spun out of the first baseman's glove as he went to go make the tag. The only thing Franklin could have done different is maybe held his ground a little bit and watched the play a little longer instead of starting his movement back to third. And once he saw the ball come out of his glove, I think he could have scrambled home. Yeah, I mean, it's learning, but he did what we asked him to do. We didn't want to run into an easy out at home with Heston coming up, even though it might have been with 2 outs. We just feel confident in him, and just the way they set up their defense, it worked for them. Yeah, that would have been a nice run to get.
Are you surprised with Franklin's offensive production?
You know, I've been watching him since he was in 9th grade, Kansas City kid, played ball on the same team as my nephew growing up, who's now in a Division I school in another state. And so I've seen him play a lot. I guess to answer your question, I'm surprised that maybe just a little bit, because in the fall it was up and down, but we've stood him up. He's standing taller because he used to top spin the ball. He'd kind of go up to the ball when he hits, stood him up. He's gotten comfortable with it. And he drove a ball off the right field wall that almost went out of the park. He hit one down the left field line. He singled up the middle. So I've been very impressed with him. His defense has been incredible. His catch down the line probably saved the game for us in Game 1. Just a good player. And now that he's hitting, I like him down there in the 9 hole. It's almost like another leadoff man for, our 1 and 2 hole hitters to drive in. And he's probably our best base stealer. He just has a little bit of a knack over there. So if he gets on, I'm going to keep running him.
Do you have a timetable for moving Ezel to second?
It would be up to him. It's that arm. He's played really well at first, obviously. I mean, I told him on Monday before we opened up on Friday, I said, hey, what do you think about this? This is what I want to do. And I told Kinley the same day, too. He hadn't taken a ground ball at second since probably last year sometime. And it's worked out because Nesbitt's more comfortable at third. But, I would love to put him out there. I don't know if he'll go there. He may stay there. When you really look at it, and I've been an infielder and an infield coach, the move might be if the arm comes back, we play him on the cut of the grass and put him at third base because it's a shorter throw. So we're just looking at some things. If Nesbitt keeps playing like he is and hitting, it's been pretty good. But right now I have a hard time moving Kinley off second. I think he's been really, really good there.
And then Casey Martin, I mean, he's had a couple of bobbles, but he's a new position. Is that what?
Yeah, a little bit. It's about being consistent, and that's a position that you want somebody consistent, but you want somebody that's really athletic. And, the interesting thing about the errors that he's made a couple bobbles, and he had one where he threw the ball short when he was moving to his left. They haven't hurt us yet. you know, he's going to make some plays that other guys can't make. He made one the other day at USC where he came in a chopper to his right, and he threw the guy out by 2 feet or 2 steps, and you were kind of going, wow, I didn't know if we were going to get it. And, you know, it's because he can get to the ball so quick, and he's got such a strong arm if he gets a proper grip on the ball. And so we're just going to have to live with it a little bit. You know, I just feel like right now it's the right way to go, and he's getting better. He's learning that it's you know, it may be a little tougher position than he remembered, because it's the toughest infield position, and you don't have time to bobble the ball. You have to field it clean and get rid of it. At second you can, at third you can, most of the time. That position, man, it's one or nothing.
Hey, Coach, just in curiosity, did you hear about Danielle Gibson hitting for the home run cycle over at softball? How about that?
That's unbelievable. And I think it's pretty interesting because she's really not a home run hitter as far as I knew. But, you know, this game's nuts. You know, when you're playing with a round ball and trying to hit it with a bat, anything can happen. But happy for her. Just happy for the softball team.
Yeah.
And they got it going over there, so it's fun. And I went and watched them play last year at the end of the year, really cold day. We had a day off on a Sunday, and I was just really impressed the way they play. They play hard. They're pretty mean. Their coach must be mean or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Courtney's done a great job since she's been here. Yeah.
Thanks.